Hello again, Struck Club. Happy holidays to all of you, whatever holidays you might be celebrating in your country. December is almost over, January and 2023 are almost upon us, and so are the plethora of games releasing in that month at the beginning of the year. As you know, I make around the end of each month videos related to upcoming games, and this one is related to upcoming tactical games, mostly the not AAA, not high profile ones. I have a video dedicated to high profile games that came yesterday that contains a few of them, such as the Fire Emblem Engage one, such as um, the Tortuga games, such as the Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden Sun, those games are not in this list, even though they are games I would recommend checking out in the genre. So, Underdog, not so popular, not so well budgeted games will be in this list. Tactical of all types, turn-based tactical and not so turn-based games as well. So buckle up, I hope you enjoyed the video and let's go. The first game on this list is Forge. There are good things about it, but also some concerns. There is a downloadable playable demo on Steam, so you can check that one right now. And keep in mind, this list is in a chronological order of release date. So this one releases on the 31st of December 2022, developed and self-published by Studio Promethean, and the others would be going from here on. It's a deeply strategic map-based card game fusing the real-time strategy, collectible card game, and deck-building genres. Coordinate your units and spells to take control of the map and outsmart your opponents. Discover the cards and find your strategy. The one concern I have is they're mentioning that it's gonna be a free-to-play monetization, and that there will be the usual bullshit daily quests. So experience is used to unlock items in reward paths, and this acquired by completing daily quests, playing games, or engaging with the community. So if you want fear of missing out, don't do fucking daily quests. Do seasonal challenges. People might not be able to log in today, but they can spend more time tomorrow and catch up by working towards the seasonal challenge. That's the way to do things. Don't do the worst mistake free to play games do by introducing stupid zombie daily quest. You don't want your player base to be a walking zombie. You want them to play whenever they want because the game is fun, not because they have to do a stupid fucking daily quest. Other than that, the game seems to be fun. There will be multiple maps. There's map picking and banning, map editor, multiple game modes, and other events. A little bit about the replayability. Over 200 foundational cards, 3 distinct card types, 5 characteristic card alignments, and 3 maps composed of 8 tiles types. That together ensure no two matches will be the same. Since there will be PvP, again, balance is important, and it's saying cross-platform multiplayer, but it's not mentioning anything other than Steam as platforms. Maybe that's for the future. Instead of just having decks, loadouts in Forge allow players to designate commanders, workers, base cards, and Forge cards. This not only promotes a more nuanced deck building experience, but also allows two players using the same cards to play with different strategies in mind. So yeah, whether this will be your type of game, time will tell, but they're claiming it will be no pay to win. They're claiming, again, no excessive grinding. I'm kind of skeptical about that, so I guess time will tell. Next on the list, we have Hexrogue, a turn-based strategy roguelike game where you need to survive on a hex board island that changes every time you play. Use limited action points to move, attack, and build your way through the island and defeat frequently spawned enemies leading up to a final boss. Releasing on the 9th of January 2023, developed by KAYAC Incorporated. Um, there are a few games that are roguelite in this list, and I was debating whether I should keep them in this list or save them for my roguelike games video. And I decided to just keep them because they're too tactical, too turn-based tactical or other types of tactical to be better put here instead of there. This one seems amazing. It seems beautiful with that hex grid mechanic. A little bit more about the game. Players can consume action points of a limited amount each turn to perform various actions such as move, attack, and build. Fill the boards with necessary buildings such as villages that automatically attack enemies, mines for plantation that produce resources every turn, or workshops for crafting equipment. And then you defeat enemies that appear each turn, and you conquer the island. There are 3 classes you can play, you select one, and each class will have different abilities and playstyle. Defeat enemies to level up, through which you can get powerful perks. Perks appear randomly, and it is up to you to choose which one you get. The combination of perks is essential in the game. Everything from the map to enemies, dropped equipment, perk options, everything like that is randomized. Each run is a new challenge, and you can also purchase various power-ups with coins to help you progress faster or change the playstyle according to your preference. Coins are earned each run you play, even if it fails. Impressive game. I guess time will tell whether it really will be as impressive as it looks. Next up is a game that don't mind the Chinese characters in the trailer. There wasn't a trailer with English, so I used the one with the Chinese. The game is promising vocalization in English and simplified Chinese for interface and subtitles. Developed by Dimension Travler without the first E between the V and L, and published by BD Games, which stands for Bento Duck Games. It's an early access release coming on the 12th of January 2023 as a full as a release, early access release, as I mentioned. This is the fantasy of a two-dimensional traverser in a different world. Keep in mind the translation of the description in Steam that I'm reading might not be perfect. In fact, it's bad at times. You can take a leisurely and strategical deep adventure. You can also collect beautiful girls without hurting your wallet and form your own harem mercenary group. That was the way it's written. I'm reading it as it is. Now they're using a different name for the game. Instead of Wonder Hero, they're calling it Drifting Mercenary in brackets. It's a game that combines the card strategy and marble ejection. Marble ejection, I have no idea what that means. Badly translated, my guess. Players can explore, take risks, trade, and recruit mercenaries in randomly generated dungeons and towns. As the mercenary captain, lead carefully selected partners to survive in this turbulent world. Now, what they're saying is exquisite vertical painting, again badly translated, raw ejection, partner linkage, and skill card. Then another badly translated thing here, the author is a dead house developed by Soul. By this, I'm assuming they mean that this is an independent studio developed by Soul developer, most likely. Again, I'm trying to guess what this Google Translate most likely meant by that, but the game looks promising and fun. Interesting art style catches the eye. It's not showing much of the actual gameplay, so not sure how good or bad that will be, but time will tell. There isn't much left until it comes out. Next up is the game with probably the best marketing out of the bunch here, with maybe the most hype around it, if hype is the right word. But Mahokenshi is a very fun game. Several months ago, I was given a press release demo to try and play. My stream of this is on my YouTube channel. If interested, you can just look it up. Now we have a release date for it, the 24th of January 2023, developed by GameSource Studio, published by Iceberg Interactive. Begin your journey to become a mighty samurai mage. In a blend of adventure, strategy, and deck building gameplay, choose how you will follow the way of the Mahoken. Explore the Celestial Islands, build your deck, battle challenging demons, and protect the land from ... Steam is cutting off the stuff, but I think it means from powerful opponents who seek to corrupt them. So you can choose your samurai house. There are 4 of them. There is the green one of emerald, the red one of ruby, and the yellow one of topaz, and the blue one of sapphire. In the playable demo I got access to several months ago, I could only place as the fierce house of ruby, if I'm not mistaken, the red ones. But it's very fun. There are more than 200 lovingly illustrated cards to discover. Begin with a basic set of cards and choose how to build your deck as you defeat formidable foes, uncover treasures, and find remote locations. Be careful, as each terrain offers different advantages, so plan your actions with the surroundings in mind. Evolve your playstyle and strategy in every mission and leverage the strengths of your samurai house to create powerful combos. Pretty much you're exploring the Celestial Islands, travel a vast array of vibrant and beautifully designed 3D maps, meet the different people of the Celestial Islands, save villages, discover shrines, and defeat deadly demons. See your battles through to life with fully animated characters, perform magical maneuvers, fiery attacks, strong defensive moves, and swift counterattacks on your way to restoring peace to the world. I really love that Hex grid, and I really love the way you can strategize using bridges and trying to kind of funnel enemies through certain places and using the different types of environment to your advantage. And which battle you do first and which one you do next is crucial, considering the rewards, the recovery items nearby, and quests that you could get from various outposts. So Mahokenshi, definitely worth keeping on your radars. Next up, we have a sequel, 8-Bit Adventures 2. What more can I tell you about the game? Well, let's just tell you the description. Everything you love about NES, SNES, and PS1 era JRPGs with all of the charm, heart, and soul, but none of the inconvenience. Dynamic turn-based battles and pixels with personality. Developed and self-published by Critical Games, expected release date 31st of January 2022. There is a downloadable playable demo on Steam. Strongly suggest checking that one out. As for platforms, this game is probably the only game that's releasing on consoles from this list. So we have one game later on. You see which one that's for mobile as well as PC. But this one is Steam, GOG, Xbox XS1, PS5, 4, and Switch. It looks beautiful. It looks cool. Pretty much, they probably, from the looks of it, have captured what made the old school JRPGs fun. They've improved it with adding quality of life to remove some of the inconveniences. But let's tell you a little bit more about it. Enjoy a feel-good adventure filled with laughs, and drama, which deals with the dark stuff, but always wants to leave you feeling uplifted over its 30-40 hour playtime. Constant variety, everything from exploring ancient ruins to solving a robot murder mystery, realized through charming pixel art which walks the line between authenticity and aesthetic. An expansive world map filled with secrets and optional locations to discover both on foot and via airship. Lord of 8-Bit Adventures 2 is full of the character-driven side quests and challenging super boss battles that any RPG fan expects. Engage in turn-based JRPG battles with depth and strategy inspired by games like Final Fantasy X, Chrono Trigger, and Mother 3. Really swap allies in combat, equip augments to customize your characters, and unleash 99 unique abilities including team attacks and 2 mega burst finishing moves. Meet a lovable cast of 7 playable characters who form relationships, make mistakes, and struggle with their past, but still work to save the world and overcome their demons. There won't be time to read everything about it, but let me tell you something. Most of the time, old school JRPGs had one thing specific that always pissed me off, and that's the basic itemization system. You find iron sword, then bronze, then silver, then mithril, whatever, and every bronze sword, every bronze shield would be exactly the same as the other one. Unlike games like Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise, where you would find this great sword and then you would find the exact same greatsword with the exact same name, but they would have different stats and abilities. You would be able to reroll the stats and abilities. So this depth, it's very hard to go back to a game without this depth once you've experienced it. Be it on a JRPG, be it on a water shooter, on a Diablo-like hack and slash game. This game still could be enjoyed for people who don't mind the basic itemization that comes with old school JRPGs, but going for a look that is old school doesn't mean you have to have a basic old school itemization. And from the looks of it, this game will have such basic itemization. So this is the one and only thing that I believe this game might have as a downside. Other than that, it looks like an amazing game. Here comes Spellmasons. Turn-based tactical roguelike where you devise spells, combinations to overcome an onslaught of relentless enemies. Team up with your friends in online cooperative multiplayer and delve into the intricacies of magic where clever combinations yield powerful, satisfying results. This combination of magic is probably one of the pulling selling points of this game. It looks very fun and nice. Developed and self-published by Octavia Blue. Release date 31st of January 2023 expected. Um, it looks amazing. It looks amazing. So yeah, you conjure spells from an ever-growing repertoire in order to survive against an onslaught of enemies, save your friends, and ultimately devastate the great danger that opposes you. And you also use the environment, so each level is procedurally generated, providing you with ample new means of cheating death and cleverly dispatching your enemies as you learn the many ways that your spells combine with each other and how they affect your enemies, your allies, and the environment. You will become more resourceful and adept at handling the most difficult encounters. And apparently there is co-op, no PvP, but online and local one co-op. So yeah, it supports online multiplayer so you can coordinate and strategize with your friends. It is turn-based but uses faction-based turns, so you and your fellow mages can all move, cast, and act simultaneously. And you can become absurdly powerful, and that's the goal of the game. Try and find the broken build and use it. Fun, nice game. Coming on the 31st of January, as I mentioned. Keep it on your radars. Next up is a game called Siege of Dungeon. Developed by Binary Tree Studio, published by Firepillar 2 and Indie Arc. And I can tell you something that I found out on their website, that this game received some funding from the third Hong Kong Game Enhancement and Promotion Scheme. Not liking the word scheme there, it seems scammy, but yeah, it did receive some funding, and it has reasons to receive the funding. It's good, it looks fun. Strategic roguelite game where players challenge strong, cunning monsters within a limited time by combining relics and skills to build up your team. What's waiting for you deep down in the dungeon? Could it be a rare and precious treasure or the beginning of dot 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 dot? Steam is cutting off the text. So download Siege of Dungeon demo if you want to try the game. It's playable, downloadable now. Sometime in January 2023 is the planned release, and that could be a placeholder date, so it might not be January, but it will be an early access title whenever the release happens. There is a community Discord server you could join, obviously. And yeah, the game looks very promising, and one of the best things is the ever-changing randomly generated underworld. You will have to make decisions depending on the various locations of monsters and events, which will lead to crises of victory for adventurers. I like how advanced the depth and how deep the choices are of forking. Normally, in some games, you have 1, 2, 3 forks, and then those forks maybe could go up and down and so on. But it's not as deep as this one. But as you can see, this game has a lot of rooms, and it's pretty solid. It's pretty nice in terms of how varied that dungeon layout is. In the vast interconnected dungeon, only adjacent characters can fight as a party. Under the circumstances of being surrounded by monster swarms, should you stick together or sneak in separately? Death matches that come from sacrifices, and there's also decent story. The game looks promising for sure. Time will tell whether it is when the game comes out, but definitely worth keeping on your radars. Next up is a game that disappointingly doesn't have any video footage, any trailer. I spent a lot of time trying to find, but I couldn't. Even on their official website, fallenlegends.org. What I did find is their Facebook with a bunch of screenshots and a bunch of art. So Forgotten Legends, developed by King Studio, published by Casman Production. Expected release date, this could be placeholder, take it with the whole salt shaker of salt. Expected release date January 2023. Forgotten Legends is a virtual trading card game based off of MMO and MOBA style combat. You will need to build a team that can win together and take victory from your enemies. Face off in a legendary event as an ancient, you will battle for supremacy and domination. Use your ancient magic to control legends from another universe for power or to survive the destruction. As the world surrenders to the chaos, you may stand alone against the forces of evil. Spend your 5 bravest legends and collect more to improve your team as you need power to stop the destruction and chaos. battle to level 5, and create or join a clan. Increase your network of other ancients to rise the ranks in competitive play with other game modes to come later. So what is worth noting is that you can join the Forgotten Legends playtest on Steam. You can click the green request access button and maybe you will get approved. The game will have online PvP. In fact, I'm not sure if it even has PvE in the first place. How fun it will be, time will tell. But if you're interested in helping playtest the game, now's your chance to do so before it releases. The next game on the list is called Three Skies, and this is the title that I mentioned earlier that has Android and iOS versions, and that might have pay to win, because it's very gacha, it's very RNG. Just let's give you the basics and talk about the bad stuff later, because the game is beautiful, it looks amazingly well. But oftentimes beautiful looking games disappoint because of bad monetization. This Skies is a story-driven strategic RPG with challenging non-linear dungeons, turn-based elemental combat, and highly customizable heroes. Developed and self-published by Shiny Box Games, expected release January 2023 as an early access title. There's single player, there's online PvP, there's cross-platform multiplayer, and in-app purchases. Customize your commander, collect and level over 60 unique heroes, and design the perfectly synergized dungeon exploring party to unravel the mystery of the calamity and save the land of Baranor from a mysterious villain surfacing out of your past. Risk versus reward dungeon dives. Face challenging strategic trade-offs with each journey into over 120 handcrafted dungeons. How much are you willing to risk to ensure victory? Summon over 60 powerful heroes from across Baranor. Level, tier up and customize each one, then mix and match them into unstoppable battle teams. Battle against dangerous foes in a deep turn-based elemental combat system. Speaking of elemental combat system, there's 14 elements. And each of them do either 2 times the damage, 1 time the damage, 0.5 times the damage, or 0 damage against another element. So there's like rock, paper, scissors, but with 14 elements, and different tiers of effectiveness. And back to the other remaining features, become a PvP Grandmaster. Defeat other commanders in the PvP arena to earn your way up to the leagues. There's various gacha of units, which I never approve of in a game. So there's different tiers, R, SR, SSR, and so on. Regarding the competitive arena, you've got bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, master, grandmaster. There's exclusive, different type modes, such as exclusive, only lowest rarity heroes are permitted, which is pretty balanced, I guess. Limited, only middle and lowest rarity heroes are permitted. Open, battle with no restrictions. And random, resist random combatants based on the heroes you have in your collection, each level scaling to be on par with other rare heroes. So at least they've tried to introduce some balancing limitations to the PvP, so that pay to win won't have that much of an effect on it. But believe me, they would have found a way to make you want to spend money on a gacha field game like that. The only thing I would approve in a game like that is buying skins for skills, skins for the characters. If there's anything such as boosters, such as loot boxes, such as quality of life, being extorted for quality of life, one of the worst things you can do in a game, then stay away from this game. Otherwise, maybe give it a try, see if it's as bad as it sounds with the monetization. But since it's a mobile game, another red flag. I believe there's too many red flags to make me personally want to even give it a try. But I know some of you out there are a little bit more tolerant to bullshit and would be gobbling it up if you find something new that looks different. So here it is, Three Skies, the new different next tier pay to win most likely game. The last game on the list is called Constelleum, which has a downloadable playable demo right now. You can go on Steam and check it out. Developed and self-published by Constelleum Games LLC. the team versus team cosmic fantasy card battle. That's how they describe it. Pick from characters with distinct styles and mechanics. Play cards to move pawns, disrupt opponents, summon companions, and more. Coordinate with your teammates to drive points to the opposing goal. Um, Overall, let me tell you about the features. 5 character draft pool, each with unique mechanics. 60 plus cards to draft, decks to bring into game. More than 10 different action types modified by dozens of status effects. 3v3 quick play. Lobby creation for custom play. There is no mention of in-app purchases, which is great. Online PvP, it's probably going to be a buy-to-play game, hopefully. If it is free to play, then hopefully they only sell cosmetics. We'll see about that. So there's some information of how to find the game, how to play a game on Steam. You might want to check it out, but let's tell you a little bit about the game. It captures the multiplayer team versus team arena battle experience while leveraging cards and a tactical turn-based structure to eliminate the necessity of high physical requirement to be competitive. Designers took inspiration from tabletop games like Doomhaven and video games like Pokemon Unite to create an experience both familiar and fresh, driven by the primary design tenet of accessibility. Constelleum is being built to be available to everyone who wants to play. And here's a little bit of information. In 2019, a team member's carpal tunnel became serious enough to prevent playing most video games. The entire team has long enjoyed competitive video games with asymmetric character pools such as Overwatch, Super Smash Bros. And Dota. After searching for alternatives with fewer physical demands, the team were dissatisfied with the options. Work on Constelleum began. So yeah, it's being produced by a small team of non-industry developers. They're asking us to be patient as they push Constellium towards launch. Overall, seems like a fun game. Time will tell how good it will be, but check out the demo and see for yourself whether it could be to your liking. To get notified when I upload more content like this one or other builds and guides for Wooter and not so Wooter games, you can subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on notifications. As well as keep in mind there's something called memberships on YouTube, which lets you be a paying member for my channel to get access to perks such as emotes and badges made by me, as well as the option to get one-on-one tutoring for the very basics of Adobe Photoshop, Premiere and After Effects. And memberships can be cancelled at any time if you no longer want to be a member. Thanks for watching all the way until the end, Struck Web. Keep it cool until next time and goodbye.